Hello and welcome to 5 Cent Freak Show on the Jump Music Initiative podcast. So here we have 5 Cent Freak Show. They're a horrorpunk and psychobilly band based out of Calgary, Alberta. They're known for their exciting and unique live performances, and I've had the honor of sharing a bill with them in the past. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so
we
much.
appreciate that.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the first question. I would like to know just a general history of the band. How did the band form, and how did you come to find your genre? Is this something did you always know you wanted to be a horror band, or is this something that developed later?
I think Nikky always knew he wanted to be in a horror
At
band.
least
Sure.
Nikky always knew it was Horrorpunk for sure. We were all sick, twisted individuals. So I think it was always headed that way. But it was definitely, Nikky always, had a hard on for Danzig ever
And
since.
we needed his
he could get one.
guidance a little bit,
Yeah.
But, we were, Bilo and I are unfortunately blood brothers. And we've known Steve for the longest time, So we were, like, friends before we even wanted to start a band, and we, like, didn't know what we were doing, picked up instruments, painted our faces, and here we are. So it's like, it's a lot of fun, it's a blast. I love doing what we do, and, meeting all the people that we meet. It's really cool. It's really
I think it's always hard to pick out, like, exactly how things went down.
Yeah,
how you
that's
found your
always
sound, but we just worked really well together, and we're on the same level, and we found our sound through just playing with each other over and over again.
We play with each other a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
How long have you guys been together, actually?
Good question.
So that's kind of like a two different question thing, because as 5 Cent, we're coming up pretty much on 5 years. And as of us actually playing music together, I think we're closer to like 9, I would say overall, because we did have a kind of a previous stint with another band, all three of us together, and
we were in the garage for the longest time too. We were playing before Bilo was able to get into bars.
Exactly.
On Canadian standards, he was too young.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. What kind of bands were you guys listening to growing up that maybe led you, to this path of this genre? Who were you listening to?
Well, I'd say everybody pick like 2 bands. That way we'll start from here and go down here.
A lot of Motorhead, a lot of System of a Down, but then I think we were listening to like a lot of the oldies, like Cash and Elvis as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I think.
Misfits was day one and still is one of my all-time favorite bands, and they kind of influenced me to go into the horror direction. But what you, Bilo?
Yeah, honestly, Steve kind of nailed it. Johnny Cash, but and then like Bad Religion and like Social D, all those kind of punk bands, and then like Danzig already mashed them together to make fucking Horrorpunk, and I was like, well, there it is. Let's grab a let's see how much more layers we can throw on this.
Stand-up bass really helps.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm interested, actually, you have a very niche thing going on here, and maybe that isn't something that everyone gravitates towards in the same way that not everyone gravitates towards pop music or any other sort of genre. So how did you find an audience? How did you build your fan base of people that really gravitate towards your type of music?
I think that's a good point, honestly, like, especially with the face paint and everything. It can honestly, at first glance, reject people and send people away, because immediately they see you and they go like, oh, that's not going to be my type of deal.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of those people we play music for, and they go, oh, this is actually really cool. And not what they say, we get not what I expected a lot. We get that statement a lot.
Yeah. No, a big tip is kind of setting yourself aside from the rest. Make yourselves kind of individual and unique. And just do what you love to do, so we'd get laughed out sometimes. We'd go to bars and stuff like that. And after a few years, people are like, I respect these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quitting for whatever, and, we just kind of stuck with it. And, we kind of are where we are today, right?
Yeah, so, don't let what other people think really guide the way you want to go. Just do your thing. And there will be people who are into it and support you.
Yeah. I will say this, y'all are tooting your own shit a whole hell of a lot. But I will say this, I can't speak for the pop crowd or anything like that, but horrorpunks are some of the fucking most accepting, most strong brotherhooded and sisterhooded people that So like the moment that we started getting into it and finding these other fan bases around the world, it was just this immediate connection, and they immediately would bring us in. They would accept us for what we did. Everyone enjoyed each other. So honestly, like as a niche group, Horrorpunk is an insanely tight, well-based group.
One of the best communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your people are out there. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Like there are people out there who are into what you're into.
Yeah, I could see how how the community itself of that genre would be really tight, and it would have to be tight. So to that end, do you think that the horror punk and psychobilly genre in Canada specifically is gaining popularity and getting bigger? What's the scene like in Canada?
Oh, so in Canada, it's alive, but it maybe isn't the most well, I would say, per se. We do have a couple bands around and whatnot that are within the horror punk and the billy genre. Very few that are in both as we are, but absolutely, it is there and whatnot. And definitely over the past few years, definitely I've seen steam coming.
And yes, it is growing.
Coming for the whole genre. People are starting to, know our name in the scene. I'm seeing like a lot of our good friends like Devil's Sons, who they're from Calgary here as well. They're getting some traction. They're on a record. They're from Edmonton, absolutely. I'm wrong. They're not from Calgary. Yeah, they're on a record label now, so definitely seeing progression towards some good stuff. Definitely.
You were while you were mentioning some other bands, can you name a few of your contemporaries that you would like think our listeners should know about?
I'm gonna start Canadian Nim Vind from Vancouver.
Yep.
Really awesome guys. They're really fun to play with and party with. Howie Wowie's our boy, Chris from Nim Vind. They're all really good guys and excellent music. Excellent voices, excellent musicians, great people, very down to earth.
Yeah, like I said, the Devil's Sons. Yep. They are from Edmonton. Thank you, Nicholas.
I got you.
Not but very talented musicians. They got the upright. They got the brass instruments on some of their songs. They got the fiddle on some of them. They're very well-rounded band, very good musicians, very good stage presence. Yeah, and definitely seen them take leaps and bounds in the past few years here as well. So they're a good one to check out.
Cool.
House of Haunt. I think they're out in Toronto. Yeah. And they do the horror kind of Billy-esque thing like us too. They got the stand-up and whatnot. So there are definitely a few of us out here for sure.
Those are just Canadians.
Canadians. We're trying to keep it limited here.
That's good. It's good. Canadian is good, man.
And can you tell us a little bit about how Halloween differs from other parts of the year for you guys?
Busier.
We're busier.
Oh, way busier.
Non-stop. We put on face paint year round, and everyone looks at us weird, but for 1 month out of the year, we put on face paint. People are like, "Oh, cool costume." We're like, for us, that's weird. When they think it's like all good, we're like, "Oh shit, that's right." I guess
you do this year round,
Right.
And then just busy all the time. Everywhere, tons of shows played in October and whatnot. So that's always like our Christmas.
Yeah,
what we call it.
Well said. Has this year obviously this year is a little bit different for you, but are you guys keeping busy these days? Are you doing shows? Are you recording? How are you dealing with the present situation?
More so recording, I think, and just playing with each other. And just because you're definitely not playing a lot of live shows at all for all of 2020, I'd say. Yeah, but there's other stuff you could be doing, right? We've been playing a lot with each other, working on new material, recording. There's a lot of stuff you can do. It's obviously a big shame that we haven't been able to do the live thing as much, because that was our MO, is live.
Yeah, that's working.
But we are going to Philadelphia next Friday. We got a show in Philadelphia next Friday, and then we're going to play Bar 13 in Delaware on Halloween night for Horrorpunks USA. So that's really exciting. So we're really, really jacked for that. So we got and we got a local show coming up in December too. So
where?
Dickens for Citizen Rage's EP release party. So that should be fun.
That'll be awesome.
So
good to hear. I'm sure that it'll be strange to be back out on the road.
Yes,
it will be.
Yes,
it will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I'm jealous. That's really cool. I'm glad to hear you guys are going down there.
Cheers. Do you have an EP coming out? Is that something that's already released or going to be released soon?
Sorry, what was that?
You said an EP release party. Is it your EP? Is it coming out soon?
So that one was actually for Citizen Rage. They're another one of our local bands that was some of our friends with. But we do have our own that we are coming out with here fairly shortly. After we found out we were headed to the USA, we had to take pause on the album for a little bit, but
practice playing live.
Yeah,
remember our songs.
But early 2021, we're hoping to come out with our new full length album. So that will be pretty cool.
It's well on its way.
Well on its way, yeah.
That's very exciting. Everyone will have to keep an ear out for that.
Absolutely, please.
Hopefully, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So you said that you're rehearsing and stuff these days to get ready for, the live shows coming up. What does a 5 Cent live show look like? For somebody that's never seen you guys before, what can they expect?
Imagine the most shameful act that you don't expect someone to do on stage, and that's us. That's what we do.
If you're embarrassed about something, come to watch us. You won't be embarrassed anymore.
It's like a train wreck. You can't look away. You know what I mean?
You have to watch it, even though you don't necessarily want to. But I don't know. You hear a shitload of us ripping on each other.
Oh yeah.
Usually
a lot of shtick.
A lot of shticky stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like we get a little crazy when we're in our makeup, so we jump around and whatnot. And
a lot of mosh pits pre-COVID. A lot of mosh pits.
Oh yeah.
I love to run out in the mosh pits.
Very
during,
intimate for sure before COVID.
Absolutely no drug use.
No,
absolutely
none of that.
But in a show like yours, where you say there's a lot of shtick, is a lot of that shtick improvised or rehearsed?
Improvised.
Improvised, yeah.
We're just trying to be us, and we are generally pretty hard on each other. I'd say
we kind of feel like you lose that shameless humor aspect if it's kind of like
if it's
free
too
done.
scripted.
Yeah.
If you're just kind of in the moment, just like ripping on each other, or just having a good time in the moment, that's where the true funny singers come out.
And Bilo's really quick. Like he's really quick on the gun. So.
Yeah, I'm not good looking, so I'm quick.
Yeah. So cute.
Can you describe an experience, a time when you were playing a gig and something went wrong, something went awry, or something crazy happened, and how do you respond and adapt in a situation like that?
I lit Nikky on fire.
Yeah. I had my devil lock, and of course I had a
by accident.
By accident. I
so
thought I was
said.
doing cool, and like he had a cigarette in his mouth, and he has a big devil lock down, and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be sweet. Like I got a sec, I'm gonna light him up. It's gonna be great. And so he's doing a solo. I fucking spark his cigarette, and up goes his whole fucking head.
I'm like, put my hair out.
Yeah, he managed to put it out pretty quick, so that was good. But the death look that I got, if looks could kill, I would have been dead 5 times over.
Oh yeah.
I was scared for the song to finish and him to have a chance at me.
Another pretty sketchy experience was at our original EP release show. Bilo's bridge crashed on his upright bass.
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty that's a kind of a catastrophe. When
I think
happens,
everything
right?
that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
But it was because people were having such a good time. They
because
moshed
everyone
right
was going
into my
crazy.
bass. So
Yeah.
I was like,
I
can't
see.
wait for that, right?
It was a great show.
Were you able to fix it and keep going?
Fix that.
What was that?
Did you fix it and keep going?
Yeah, I fixed it pretty quick on the fly. I don't know how. She was out of tune like a motherfucker, but I finished the set, so that's what mattered.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
cool. How did you guys come up with your name?
Oh, that's a Bilo. That's a Bilo question right here.
This is the PG-13 episode, so I'm not going to give you a regular answer.
Give me that version.
Yeah, I'll give you that version. Honestly, man, we had a list that me and Nikky were deciding what we were going to call this new band. And, I'm a big fan of, we're all a big fan of alliteration, right? So that was the thing. I was like, we got to have something alliterative, something cool.
Rolls off the tongue.
It rolls off the tongue. So I was like, well, what about like the freak show aspect? Like, I don't clowny stuff, this, that. So I was like, what about the 15-cent freak show? And Nikky's like, no. What about 5-cent freak show?
Yeah.
That's too expensive, 15. And so he's like, what about 5? And I'm like, okay, cool. So we put it down. We're like, okay, let's wait. Let's hold on. No name ever came on the list besides that. It was the only name ever on this. We're like, that's the one. That's it. that was it.
That's cool. It's a great name, I think.
Thank you, man.
I
So
appreciate
much.
that.
And what is your songwriting process like?
Oh, geez. So I usually write a lot of the material, and I just kind of in my room by myself, and I come up with ideas and stuff like that, and then I pitch it to the guys, and we kind of just build from there. We all kind of give our suggestions and, switch things one way or the other, and we just kind of it's a kind of a team effort all around, right? There's somebody pitches an idea, then we pitch it to the guys, and we all kind of work on it, and that's sort of our songwriting process for the most part.
You come to us with the building blocks, and then we all try to put it together.
Yeah.
In a way that we're all happy with.
And that's what kind of gives it that 5-cent sound, because it doesn't have that until every one of our hands has been touched on it, you know. So that's that's sort of a songwriting process for us, anyways. It works.
I wrote like one song.
Yeah,
and it's on the fridge right now.
Just to get my credit, I wrote a song. It's on the fridge.
Awesome. You guys, so Deadly Distribution, that's your record label and your distributor as well, I assume?
So also our record label as well. Nikky Casket has his own Necro Freak Records.
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of the actual mixing and mastering in house thus far, and then Crowley from Deadly Distribution goes out and distributes it for Europe and USA and stuff like that for us. And
they're based in Germany, so they're really great people to work with. We've worked with them for years now, and they've kind of like, you know, he's believed in us since day one. Before we kind of got like a name behind us, and you know, really we got like a really good relationship with them. We're all on the same page together. He wants us, you know, asked us, say, hey, can you do an acoustic album? And be like, you know, we've got a good relationship with them, you know. So
that's awesome. So you guys basically, well, you started your own label in order to represent the band, basically, and then Deadly Distribution is your distributor. Can you help our listeners understand what a distributor, what do they do for you?
If you could find a distributor like Crowley, they do a hell of a lot, because what Crowley's done for us, basically,
more than we can ask.
More than we can ask. What he's actually done is he's kind of an extra mile. I can't speak for many other distributors, but for him, he's pushed our name since day one. Since we were nothing but a skid mark, he was pushing our name, helping us pay for stuff like artwork for the band, merchandise for the band, pressing costs. He's just been, you know, like,
we can't promise you're gonna find a guy like him, because he's like, we're so lucky to have
we
him.
are absolutely, but he has done so much for the band that, like, it is very unsung, but absolutely, like, he's been in more ways than just distribution.
And
he's been helping us.
To put it simply, like, he's someone who he personally believes in us.
Exactly.
He's just put himself out there for us. So, like, we can't say, you know, go here and you're gonna find that guy for you. But in our situation, we've been really, really blessed to have him work for us.
The big also, another big thing is creative control. He lets us keep creative control.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's huge. So
it's very important to us.
Kind of a tip for anybody, just like when you're looking for record labels, make sure that you got your creative control, because that's big, you know.
Don't sign your band away.
If you lose your control, creative control, you lose your passion. Yeah, that's it.
You don't need a record label to succeed, you know. Just like, if they're gonna benefit you, then absolutely. But that's just sort of my tip for anyone who wants to know. But it's a grind.
Yeah, that's great. And, you know, that's exactly the kind of advice that we're looking for from artists, you know, for the podcast here, and finding out, you know, how they did it, and what, you know, the pitfalls and that sort of stuff. But I'm sure maintaining creative control over your material is, you know, it's your art. This is your product, and this is you guys.
Yeah.
And what are some of the biggest challenges you guys have had to overcome in your career so far?
I'm going to chalk that up to traveling.
Yeah.
Traveling has been, you know, it's we want to travel. We want to meet everybody, you know. We want to meet our fans in the UK and our fans in Germany and Europe.
Just travel, like, ourselves too. Like, it's an excuse for us to be able to see the world, right? You know, that's the thing. But
and I mean, there's a lot of things that get in the way of that, cost and stuff like that. But I think if that's our biggest gripe, it's not that bad. We could have a lot worse things happening.
Exactly.
But it's probably I would say touring and traveling.
Yeah.
Wanting to do it and not being able to do it as much as we would like.
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Artwork and the visual aspect of the band is so huge and plays such a big part of it. How do you incorporate artwork in general into the image of your band? How big of a role does it play? How do people develop that? Because, you know, young artists are so everybody's concentrating on the music so much, but they forget to bring the visual aspect of that in as well. Right. What kind of advice can you give to young artists and to that end?
Well, I think you're totally right. Like, it is as important as anything else.
So I'll say it very plainly here. These faces, no one fucking knows, but the art that we put on our face is the thing that people recognize.
Right.
And, you know, call it gimmicky, call it what you will. It grabs attention. It's hard to forget. like, I mean, a lot of times we end up shirtless because I'm fat. I get hot a lot, right? So how are you gonna forget a fat clown that's shirtless on stage with a stand-up bass?
He's gonna be the only one there,
but that's gonna stick in your head, right? And when it comes to like our artwork for album covers and stuff like that,
I think it's huge.
It's huge. No expense spared when we're doing art. You get what you want. You make it look good. You want to make it pop. But that's it only goes so far. But as long as that's there, you grab the attention.
And you might have to dig through, like when it comes to finding people to work with artists and stuff, like to get artwork done. Just find like you're gonna have to schlop through the mud a little bit and find the right people you like working with. We've been lucky enough to find quite a few really good artists
definitely.
that really they kind of get what we're going for, because I can't draw. I can't draw like.
But a big thing as like a tip is definitely never settle for an artist just because you think they have good artwork, this, that, the other thing. I'll tell you that, like, if you find an artist who is passionate about what he's about to draw for you, no matter what, you're going to get 10 times better art from the guy who's got some passion to it, from the guy who's going to charge you $1,000 for one picture he doesn't care about.
And just because they're an artist doesn't mean they're necessarily going to do what you need.
Exactly.
Right? Like, they're not going to get... It's not always going to be right for you.
Yeah, so shop around always for art and make sure that you got the right people working the right angles for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finding someone that clicks and shares your creative vision.
Exactly.
Very important.
Definitely.
100%.
Awesome. I guess I'd like to ask, is there anything you guys want to share with our audience? Is there any more stories you want to tell or advice you would give to young artists just starting out?
Like, there's a lot of stories we want to keep to ourselves right now.
PG-13.
Youth podcast, yeah.
But I'll do a few basics, and that's practice. Like always, just keep going at whatever it is, whatever your passion may be. Don't stop doing what you love to do, because that's going to be the thing that'll shine through.
And make it something you love to do. Don't keep grinding something you hate doing, because nothing is going to come up.
Yeah, because you think it might be mainstream and it might
like
get
doing.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And do it with people you like doing it with.
That's the members are huge.
Members are huge.
Make sure you got people you love, because fans and people that listen to your music, they can see that, right? And they can tell that we've been friends for years before we're even on stage, right? So definitely find a good group of people, whoever it may be, and people that you trust, right? And people that you just have fun with, because we're on the road together days and days and days on at a time, and we haven't killed each other yet. Anyways, so that's big. And another big thing is never give up. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like something that you do out there, but it's just part and parcel, right?
You're going to be discouraged all over the place. Don't let it get to you, right?
For every one person that doesn't believe in you, there's 50 to 100 plus more that
and the people who don't believe in you don't give them your time.
You don't want them listening to your music anyways, right? So
right.
But
yeah, that's some awesome advice.
Yeah, thank you very much, you guys. You've been a really unique guest on this show, and we've really appreciated having you here.
Yeah, I like you're unique. It's not good or bad, but it's different. I like that.
Oh no, in the best sense. I mean that in the best sense.
Cheers. Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you guys for doing stuff like this as well. This is honestly this is fantastic to hear that someone is just. I wish that we had something that we could have referred to. Something that's like gave us tips and tricks on how to go forward and whatnot. I think it's fantastic what you guys are doing.
Please keep it up. You guys have our support till the end. So,
absolutely. We made sure we are not alone, man.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, you guys. Yeah, we appreciate your time. I'm sure that our listeners will be listening for what you're up to.
Awesome.
Hopefully, man. Cheers.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, guys.